And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show to help us preview that big Moreno Valley versus Hemet football game coming up in Inland Valley League play. Head coach of the Bulldogs, Jeff Galloway. And Coach, I got to bring this up first because you just told me off the air the last time we spoke, last time I had the privilege of interviewing you, you lost. Was that in softball the last time?
That was softball. That was 21 when we went back to the finals. And last time we had the interview, it didn't go so well for me on mine.
Well, you know what? There's some teams out there that actually say, hey, we got some of that good, inland sports mojo. The coach comes on or a player, and they do the interview, and they go out and they win their next game or win that title game or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So maybe this will be different, Coach. It's a different sport at least.
No, it's always good to interview with you, Pep. And it is a different sport. And, I'm just that softball kind of baseball superstition kind of comes out, in me every so often. So. But no, it's good. It's good. I'm excited for this game and this season, and we'll see where it turns to.
Coach, if I was going to ask you, are you a football coach and also a softball coach, or are you a softball coach who happens to be also a football coach? Like, which do you lean either way?
Little history. I've been coaching football since '97. So, and in '99, I became the defense coordinator at Hemet under Coach Boynton. Mm-hmm. And then when they let him go, I ended up over at Talkwitz under Coach Gregovich. So I coached there for a couple of years. 2006 is when I came in coaching softball. So I'm a football coach, transitioned to a softball coach, and I really like softball. It's a real fast game. I love the girls, and I've been blessed with a ton of talent. So, and I've had a lot of talent at Hemet as well. We had Brandis Dew, we had Tavita Stevens, all those guys come through. A lot of guys went on to play the next level. And I'm just blessed that I was able to come back and get the opportunity now to finally become the head coach at Hemet and be in this program that has such rich tradition and history. And it's fun. It's fun. It's all fun. Coaching is fun, and that's what I love to do.
Coach, I might be wrong, and correct me if I am, but is Coach Thornburg on your staff still?
Coach Thornburg is on my staff. He's our strength coach. And he's also my outside linebacker coach. Great job. I have a great group. Coach Stephen Brown, the head baseball coach, is on our staff. I got Coach Hambley with me. He's our D-line coach. But I have a great staff. We all get along really well. We do a great job. I have a couple of returning players that played for us that are coaching with me, which is always good to have those guys come back and show the younger ones what it's about and what they can do with the potential if they line everything up. So, no, it's fun. We have a great staff. We have a good time, and it makes coaching a lot more fun when you have guys you enjoy to be around.
Coach, what does the springtime look like for you? Because obviously you're doing softball, and the spring is an important time, even for high school football. The weight room. I don't know if you do 7-on-7 if you're into that sort of thing. But what does the spring look like for you? Is it pretty busy?
Yes, I'm real busy, and thank God there's lights because we can turn the lights on the football field to practice. But I'm not a big 7-on-7 guy because to me it's like basketball on grass. But we do it towards the end of spring coming into summer. So my main focus is the weight room. I believe that's where a lot of the foundation for football comes from is you got to be in the weight room and you got to be committed. And we're a little behind in the strength for the last couple of years. So now with Thornburg really running it and getting them where they need to be, there's been some big gains in the weight room, and we're improving, and we're getting better every day, and they continue to work hard, and that's all we ask for.
Well, Coach, a 5-1 start to this season. Let's rewind back to, let's say, July or August. Yep. Going into the year, did you look around the locker room? Did you look at your roster and think, you know what, this could be a pretty good team? We might be in the hunt for a league title. We might be able to string together a couple of wins and get into the playoffs. I mean, what did you think about this group before the season began?
We're pretty young still. So I was seeing, some inexperience in spots. We're thin. We don't have a lot of numbers. So, I'm always concerned about who we're going to replace who with if someone gets injured. I knew we had talent. And it's just, to me, it's how fast can these kids put our system together to be successful? And so far, they've been able to pick up our system, and they're putting it together well. And when I looked at us in the summer, realistically, I thought we might be a little bit above 500. I didn't think we were going to be gelling this well this early in the season. And we still have, I mean, if you watch our games, we still have a ton of room of improvement. I mean, we still make a lot of mistakes, and we still have a long ways to go. And we're headed on the right path. And ultimately, I guess, as long as we're at the top of our game when it comes playoff time, if we can get in there, then that's where we need to be.
Coach, is that the exciting part for you? Is that, you guys are 5-1 on the season, so obviously it's going well so far, but you feel like this team could, still play even, better football. There's still room for improvement for these Bulldogs.
Yeah, the exciting part is watching them grow and watching them pick up the offense and watching them pick up the defense and seeing their progression go. And then the best part is when you're on Friday night and you can make an adjustment just by talking to them without drawing it up for them, and they get it. That's when they're starting to see things and they're starting to do things. And defensively, we did that early on. In India, we were able to throw a bunch of stuff at them that we never really practiced, but it was within the scheme, and they picked it up. So that's been the bright spot. And offense now, all of a sudden, are starting to come around and come on. And so now if we can put them both together at the same time, they're going to be pretty tough to beat.
Coach, before we get to this Moreno Valley game, I do want to ask you, because it was still fresh in our minds, the Fairview Fire. I know you guys had to kind of shuffle your schedule a little bit and play Rialto on a different week. I mean, what was that like personally for you, maybe some of your players or coaching staff in terms of trying to, negotiate that week and basically probably deal with your family and friends and stuff more so than, getting on the football field?
Yeah, well, with the Fairview Fire, I was affected by it. We had a couple of our football players that had to get evacuated. One of our football players, the fire went right to his back of their barn, and so he almost lost everything there. Thank God he didn't. The firefighters and our community, they did a great job of helping the surrounding community and Cal Fire and everybody. Where I was at, it was coming over the hill. I live out a little bit further out of town. Mm-hmm. We're in a more rural area where it was burning all the way back towards us. And the fire department, Cal Fire and all those guys, they were up in the air until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and they got the fire out before it got to where it was going to end up at our place. Basically, all we did is they shut school down for the week, so we couldn't do anything. We couldn't practice. I couldn't do anything with them. But we were preparing video-wise and all that stuff for them, watching film. I put up a test for them, so when they're watching their film, they have to answer these questions. And we were preparing as if we were going to end up playing that week. Well, they canceled it, so basically all it did is that week turned into our bye week. So now we're running into when we should have had the bye week of letting our team heal up and kind of rest a little bit more. We're just running into one long season. And, at times you can see it in practice. Our kids are getting kind of tired, and I can see it, but I'm trying to instill a different little standard with them, hold them more accountable, and it's hard because I have to change that a little bit, and I think they think that I'm beating them up a lot when I'm just trying to get them to be accountable and do the right things all the time. And for the most part, I can't complain. Our kids in our program, 99% of them do exactly what we ask them to do. And they give us everything they got. We're always going to have those one or two athletes that, are always going to push our buttons or test us. But for the most part, they do really well. They practice really well. They're understanding everything that we're doing. And, things are coming along. So, the Fairview Fire kind of set us back a little bit. But what really hurts us is we've had 4 or 5 Thursday games.
Yeah. So
we're running on short weeks all the time, and it's tough. I mean, it's hard with trying to get our game planning, get everything done and ready on Monday that we would normally be doing on Tuesday, and having Monday to prep them. Well, we haven't got that luxury there this year, and we've had to play quite a few Thursday games, and it's tough. It's a tough go, especially with these high school kids and everything else they got going on. All their homework, all that stuff. School starting so much later, it puts them home later because practices are later now. So it's just hard on them. But like I said, I'm proud of our program and our team and the direction that they're headed. I just hope that we continue to grow and we continue to rise. I'm very pleased with the 5-1 start for sure. Really deep down, I really think, we should beat Liberty, but, Liberty's a solid program, and, Coach over there, he does a great job with his staff and his kids, and, we had a few breaks go against us, and it didn't turn out well for us. So, and that's football. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Coach. You're probably a player or two away from having an undefeated season right now. That is a very good Liberty team. I do want to ask you about Moreno Valley. Sometimes I have to remind myself that you guys are not in the Mountain Pass League. That you're in the Inland Valley League now. But Moreno Valley's also 5-1. They've done some good things this season. Without giving away all your secrets, I mean, what do you think are the keys to victory against Mo Val this week on Friday night?
Mo Val's like a little double-headed monster. I mean, they got their quarterback that does really well running the ball, and then they have their back that does really well running the ball. Their line's pretty good size. I mean, they got a nice big line. They do a lot of things well, and, if we don't show up defensively and play our A game, they're going to give us everything we can handle. That's for sure. And same with defense, they got a lot of speed. I just think that, I think it's going to come down who can execute the best with the least amount of mistakes is going to end up with the victory, because we all know once you start playing, and we're getting deep into our season, when you start making mistakes, that's going to bite you and that's going to come back and haunt you eventually. And I think Moreno Valley is one of those teams that if we make a mistake or two, they're going to capitalize because they can score in a hurry. I mean, that 100-yard touchdown run, he still had to outrun everybody. So against Canyon Springs, so that was, I mean, he was moving.
Yeah,
that is for sure. Like I say, though, that it looks like Coach over there's got them rolling. They're doing things well offensively. They look really good, and it's a little worrisome. It's giving me some sleepless nights, that's for sure. But I think after tomorrow, I'll have a better feel of where we're going to be. Right now, it's a coin flip, and just on where we're at, just because it's so early and. Again, it's a short week, and these kids are having to adjust, playing a Friday night game and then coming in on Monday, and we're full-blown practicing on Monday, getting ready for Thursday. So, but I think Mo Val's going to give us everything we can handle, and, we're going to sure do our best to give them everything they can handle as well.
Yes, it's funny you say that. It was a good reminder, too. I was looking at my schedule on the Inland Sports website. I'm like, it is another Thursday night game. I was thinking it was Friday, but you're right. Yeah, Mo Val and Hemet on Thursday night. Coach, with that short week, so what does that look like for you guys? Is it helmets and pads on Monday or Tuesday, or what does that look like?
So basically what happens is Monday becomes our Tuesday practice. Mm-hmm. So, but we have to combine everything. We have to combine our defensive game plan, offensive game plans on Monday, along with our walkthroughs on Monday, and then we have to get right into practice. Because, we don't want to lose days of contact practice. I don't like to go contact the day before a game, just to kind of let them heal up a little bit. So, we're going to go, Mondays is going to be combined like we would on Tuesdays, and then Tuesdays becomes our Wednesdays, and then Wednesdays becomes our Thursdays as if we were playing on Friday. So everything's moved up on the schedule, and it's a grind. And then, Friday, it's like, we think Thursday's a Friday night, and then it's like, we got to go back to work in the morning. And it's a 7:30 game on Thursday as well.
Yeah.
So it makes it even later, and it's like, we got to go back to work Friday. Okay, here we go. So it's a grind, and it's you can see it's wearing, but it's something that we can handle, and we're going to get through, and we're going to make the most of it, and our kids are going to give them everything they can give them.
Yeah, for the kids too. I mean, you got to get up early for work on Fridays. Kids got to get back to school on Fridays after a long night of playing football. But Coach, is the silver lining that on Friday nights, do you go look at somebody else? Do you go scout somebody else, or do you enjoy a nice sit down dinner? What do you do on a Friday night?
Well, the blessing, I guess, like you say, is I get to spend a little time with the family. Because football takes a lot of time away, and high school football demands a lot of time, weekends and all that stuff. So. If we're not out scouting, or if we're not going to go look at someone else, then I'm going to come home. I'm going to get the kids out of practice or whatever early after film session, and then I'll send them home and let them go spend time with their family. Let them get caught up on their homework. I'll spend some time with my family, and because ultimately that's what it's all about, is being with your family when it comes down to it. Even though football is like a second family of ours, then I get to spend time with my wife and my daughter that's home, and just enjoy the company, enjoy everything, and because football again takes up a lot more time than softball takes up. That's for sure.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. I know it's a big one against Mo Val this coming week, Thursday night if you're watching this, and I know it's only week 7, but in terms of league championships, I feel like this is a very important game in terms of eventually crowning that Inland Valley League champion. Is that safe to say?
Well, it's safe to say this is a very important game. I don't look ahead to anybody. I don't look past anybody. That's never been my motto. I'm only one game at a time, 1 week at a time, and I try to instill that into our kids. So I haven't looked past Mobile at all. I don't even look down the road of who we're playing, who's next, or what's going on. It's this week's the number 1 week. That's the most important week of any weeks that we're playing. I don't care past or present. It's now. This is the number 1 week, and it's every week is a big week for me. And there'll be lots of sleepless nights all the way up. Even the night before a game will be sleepless, and then after the game I'll unwind and it'll still be sleepless a little bit, trying to figure out what we did wrong or what we could have done right, or even celebrating a little bit after a big win and kind of relaxing and enjoying it. So right now I'm blessed. Our kids are doing well. Our coaching staff's doing a great job, and let's just see what happens when the final whistle blows. Where are we at?
All right, Coach, let's end it like this. What's your celebratory meal? Like, if you got a big win, you're going to treat yourself. I know it's late, so maybe everything's not going to be open that late at night, but you win a big football game. What's your celebratory meal?
So if I win a big football game later, it's probably something like taco shop. Get me either a pollo asado burrito, and then coming home and having a big old adult beverage and just relaxing at that point. That's celebrating it at that point, and just enjoying the moment, savoring it for as long as I can savor it for. Because then Saturday morning, I got to get ready for the next week.
It happens all over again.
Right.
Coach Galloway, listen, I really appreciate the time. Again, big one coming up against Moval this week 7 of the high school football season in Inland Valley League play. Best of luck. I appreciate the time, and maybe we can do this again once you guys are in the playoffs. I'm assuming you guys will be in the playoffs at this point. So.
Yeah, well, that's our plan. Our plan is to get through this game and get ready for the next game, Pep, and I appreciate everything you do for this football program and the Inland Empire.
You got it, Coach. That's Jeff Galloway, head football coach for the Hemet Bulldogs here on the Inland Sports Show.